Thank you so much for the awesome introduction. My name is Arri Bagah. Before I get started, I want us to give a huge round of applause to Missy Ward and the Affiliate Summit team for putting this event together. So thank you so much. I know I have a hard time getting one person to meet up with me, and they were able to get like 4,000 people to meet up in one place, so that is truly special. So what I'm going to talk about today is how to generate a lot of revenue by leveraging SMS marketing and performance Facebook Messenger marketing. But before I get started, I want to tell you a little bit about me. So my name is Arri Bagah. I was born in a small country called Togo. As you can see right here on the map, it's that tiny country on the west side. And that is not a picture of me. So I looked up my country on Google, and that was like the first image that came up. And I thought it was so funny because like in my country, there are buildings and that people actually live in, and they're really nice buildings. So I thought it was pretty interesting. But yeah, I was born in Togo, moved here in 2010. A lot of people don't believe me because my accent is kind of gone. But yeah, moved here in 2010. And when I moved here, there was like so much opportunity in the country that I decided to serve in the military as a thanks to this awesome country. So this is me in Army. So I was part of like the logistics team, but I was also a part-time machine gunner. So this is me with the M240. And this is also not a picture of me, but growing up, I wanted to be a fighter jet pilot, but I decided to do something a little bit more riskier and started my own business. So I started Conversmart, and we help direct-to-consumer brands generate at least 6 figures in revenue per month through SMS marketing and performance messenger marketing. And these are some of the brands that we work with: Tuft and Needle, Boom, Poopery, Transparent Labs. Boom, who is owned by Ezra Firestone, who's going to be speaking tomorrow. I definitely want you guys to attend his session because he's one of my good friends and he's very knowledgeable in the e-commerce space. So I think he's speaking he's closing the keynote tomorrow. Definitely recommend attending that, but these are some of the brands that we work with. We also do event for brands. It's called Conversmart DTC Day. So if you're in a direct-to-consumer space and you want to join us this September 26th in LA, please learn more at dtcday.com. It's by invite only, and we bring together some of the best brands and retailers in one place where they can network and grow together. Why you should listen to me. So like I mentioned, we help brands generate a lot of revenue through SMS marketing and messenger marketing. And my team does all this, and I get to take all the credit. But I've been invited to present some of these case studies at some of the biggest events in the world, at Conversations Conference, Traffic and Conversion Summit, which is now owned by Affiliate Summit, so congrats. And also done like workshop for digital marketing and stuff like that. But we're not here today to talk about me. We're here to talk about SMS marketing and Facebook Messenger marketing. So on the agenda today, we're going to talk about the resurgence of SMS marketing, some misconceptions about SMS marketing, your top revenue channel, which is SMS, how to get started, and then we're going to get into specific strategies and tactics on how to implement SMS and Messenger marketing. So who's excited to get started? All right, awesome. So the resurgence of SMS marketing. Before I get started, I think it's important to kind of illustrate why we're talking about SMS in 2019 and kind of like what the opportunity looks like. So we all know that we now live in the mobile-first world, right? So if you take a look at the growth of smartphones and the adoption of smartphones, you can see that it has really skyrocketed over the past 1.5 decades. And consumers now are online more than ever. You can pretty much do anything on your smartphone these days, from shopping, chatting with friends, even finding like the woman of your life, your partner of your life. You can do that through your smartphone. You can do so much on your smartphone, right? And this is the reason why consumers now spend more than 5 hours a day on their smartphones. And worldwide, more people own a cell phone more than a toothbrush, which is really interesting. So people have more access to their cell phone than dental care, which is really interesting. So when we look at the traffic split for mobile compared to like desktop, we can see that mobile accounts for over 67% of all US e-commerce traffic. And also mobile is on track to account for 53.9% of all US e-commerce sales by 2021. And the reason why this is all happening is because the whole world has gone mobile first. And because of this, the way we shop has changed forever. But not only did the way we shop has changed forever, but the way we communicate has also changed forever. And today I want to walk you through a true mobile-first way to be able to reach your customers directly where they are and generate a lot of revenue by doing that. But before I get into the specifics, I want to really talk about how the way we communicate has changed through smartphones. So I have a few facts here that I want to go through to kind of illustrate that. So when you take a look at the way we communicate with friends, family, and coworkers, we can see that we tend to use messaging apps, right? So if you're communicating with friends and family, you probably use iMessage, Android Message, Facebook Messenger, or WhatsApp. And when you're communicating with coworkers, you probably use something like Slack, Skype, or Discord, right? And this is the reason why messaging apps has become the most downloaded apps in the entire world, and they also have the most amount of monthly active users. And today, over 92% of Americans can be reached over text. That was a study done by the Pew Research Center, and this is data from 2015, so I wonder what this data looks like today. Over 90% of all text messages are read within 3 minutes of being received, and over 91% of people have their cell phones within arm's reach. And this is the reason why over 83% of millennials open their SMS messages within 90 seconds of receiving them. And also, they want to communicate with friends and get deliveries, promotions, and updates through text messaging. And get this, over 79% of consumers will sign up to hear from brands via text messaging. So this is really huge because when we take a look at how we communicate and how it has changed and the way the whole world has gone mobile first, we can pretty much do anything on our smartphones. We can access our smartphone from pretty much anywhere. And when we communicate with friends, family, coworkers, we're using messaging apps. Then my question is, why are we only emailing our customers if we know that our customers are chatting now? They're not using email as much, right? So the first thing that I hear all the time is that, I wouldn't sign up to receive text messages. Therefore, the whole world doesn't want to receive text messages. So that's what most marketers think, because they personally do not want to receive text messages. Then most people do not want to receive text messages. But I have data that definitely proves the opposite. So one of our partners did a study recently, and they found out that marketers think about that because they don't have any data, right? So we decided to do a survey to find out why consumers prefer, to get notifications over text compared to email. So when we did that survey, we found out that 79% of consumers would sign up to receive messages from brands, and over 62.7% have already signed up and they're already receiving notifications through SMS. And then 16% said that they've signed up but they're not receiving anything. And then 18.3% said that maybe they're interested in receiving text messages, and then 3% said that they're not interested in receiving text messages. So I want you to think about this for a second, right? So if you're a customer, about 67% of all US mobile traffic is coming from mobile. So if your customer is on a mobile device and they're on your website and you have some sort of coupon or incentive to get them to opt in, do you think it makes sense to get them to opt in through their cell phone where they are currently browsing on your website or email? Right? So if they're on their cell phone and you want to send them a coupon, Do you think it makes sense to send it over text message where they are or email? So I think we all know what the answer to that is, right? They're already on their cell phone, so it makes sense to send that message directly where they are. And because we found out that consumers really want to receive text messages, then we asked them, what type of content do you want to receive over text? So over 96% said that they want to get purchase updates. 95% want to receive, sales and promotions over text. So if you have discounts too, you can send it to your customers. Back in stock notifications, you can have your customers to opt in to receive updates when the products that they're looking for are back in stock. If you're doing giveaways, promotions, SMS is definitely a great way to do that as well. If you have new product releases, one of the cool things that we do is that when we have a product release, we send it to your customers that are on SMS first because somebody has given you their cell phone number, right? Which is one of the most private information that they have. People don't like giving their cell phone numbers, especially at the bar. All right, maybe that's a personal problem, but people give you they give you their cell phone, so you want to treat them right. You want to treat them specially. That's why when you launch new products, you want to send it to your SMS list first, and then they want to get exclusive content, feedback, and all that cool stuff, right, over text messaging. And when we leverage this new way of marketing, we're getting over 80% open rates when we do our broadcast, over 30% click-through rates. On average, our text messaging platform gets on more than 9% conversion rates. And then the average return, And then the average return is like over 15x. So based on these numbers, it's like no secret that SMS can be your next top revenue channel. And when we compare this channel to email, for example, right? So how many of you guys are doing email marketing? Okay. So the average open rate over email is like 20%. The average click-through rate is less than 5%. And the average conversion rate is less than 4%. And these are numbers directly from MailChimp. And this is if you're really good at email marketing. That's when you get these numbers. Now, the interesting thing is that the performance over email has dropped more than 47% over the past 5 years. And when you think about it, the reason why you're doing email marketing is to be able to reach your customers, build relationships, and sell to them, right? But over the past few years, email has gotten really spammy. The average person gets like 98 emails per day. And pretty much like people can find your email anywhere these days. So a lot of people get emails from random people, so they don't open email anymore. When we compare this channel over text messaging, where I just showed you the stats are incomparable, right? So the new way for marketers to be able to reach their customers directly, build relationships, and sell is to reach them on a channel where they are, which is on their smartphones. And right now, if you're wondering how to get started, I'm going to dive into specific ways that you can leverage SMS marketing to be able to convert more customers. All right, so how to succeed at SMS marketing. So the first thing is that you have to define your goal. And to define your goal, what I mean is that you have to know what your KPIs are. So how do you measure success? And I'm going to dive specifically into each of these points. The next thing is that you have to grow a list. So a lot of people come to me and say, hey, I'm doing some sort of SMS or Facebook Messenger marketing, but haven't seen any results. And then they tell me that they have a 100% list. So you have to grow a list. And I'm going to show you exactly what the opt-in looked like and how to implement all these opt-ins to grow your list. And the last thing is that you have to engage. You have to send out those messages, right? So defining your goal. So the first thing you want to do is, what is your true, KPI? Is it subscriber growth? Are you looking to build a list that you can nurture and sell to? Engagement rate. So we talked about how the performance over email has dropped by 47%. So are you looking to increase your open rates or click-through rates? Revenue generated. So I'm going to go over different ways that you can leverage SMS at the bottom of the funnel. So I think with SMS marketing, you can really leverage it on your website to reach your customers based on actions that they take on your website, which is a really powerful way. And if you stick around, I'm going to show you how we're generating $6 million in revenue from one brand directly through SMS retargeting at the bottom of the funnel. And the last thing is return on investment, right? How is SMS performing compared to all your other marketing channels? Because I know when we work with brands, you want SMS to be in their top 3 revenue generating channel, which is unheard of, right? Because usually for brands, it's Facebook, Google, and then email. But we want SMS to replace email. Growing a list. So these are some of the opt-ins that you can leverage, and I'm going to show you exactly what they look like. So when we talk to a lot of people, they say, hey, I'm doing email marketing, but I don't want to stop doing email marketing. I want to really test SMS marketing on top of the email marketing that I'm doing. So one of the things that we're doing is collecting 2 opt-ins from our customers. So when a visitor comes to your site, you have a pop-up that can collect a phone number and also an email address. Or you can have it the other way around where you're collecting both email and SMS. So you ask for the email first. This is good for desktop. And then the second thing is asking for their phone number. You can have your standalone pop-up for mobile on SMS. And then you can also have your standalone pop-up for desktop. And you have your slide-ins and the pills that you can leverage. And then also you can have a landing page where you're collecting SMS, phone numbers, and you can also drive traffic to those. And one of the best ways to actually grow your SMS list is to leverage your email list. So you can run different campaigns to ask your customers to opt in through SMS. So you have them on both channels, and you can do the same for Messenger. So we're going to also go into Messenger a little bit later in the talk. But right now we're going to dive into specific opt-ins for text messaging. So this is a 2-for-1 opt-in for SMS. So if you do not want to stop doing email marketing, but you want to leverage SMS, so on your website, one of the things that you can do is have this opt-in right here. So you collect a phone number, and I'm going to dive specifically into this right here because I think it's truly special what we're doing here, because for a lot of the brands that are doing SMS marketing, they're kind of like doing it in a non-compliant way where a customer comes to your website, they're going through checkout, they put in their phone number, and all of a sudden that customer is receiving text messages. That is the non-compliant way to do SMS marketing because you can get in trouble. I was speaking at a conference last week, and one of the attendees told me, hey, I got a class action lawsuit for doing SMS marketing because I was messaging people that I was not supposed to message, and that is because they were doing retargeting for customers that did not opt in. So this opt-in right here is the compliant way of doing SMS marketing because here, the customers get the double opt-in, right? So they click on that pop-up, and then it opens up their messaging app. So if they're on a smartphone, it's going to open either iMessage or Android Message. And then all they have to do is send that message, and they get opted in. And then after that, there's a legal message say, hey, you can unsubscribe at any time by sending stop. So that's to make sure that you're safe, you don't get in any trouble. And then there's that welcome message that delivers the coupon. And the second part, which is really exciting, is that we collect their email addresses as well. So when they click on that link, we don't really reveal the coupon right away. They put in their email address as well. And then that's after they put in their email address that we show them the coupon. So this is the SMS first approach where you're able to collect the customer's phone number and also the email. And as you can see, it's like a really good experience because at no time they're not tapping in their phone number, but we're still collecting their phone number when they send that message. So it's a really seamless experience if you want to collect phone numbers. You can do this the other way around where you're collecting email first, And then right after they opt in for the email, you ask for their phone number. And then it's the same process. And this is really good to, especially if you're on desktop. If a customer is on desktop, they're more likely to check their email. So you can ask for their email address, and after that, they can type in their phone number. So you have both opt-ins, and then obviously they get the following welcome messages. And then you can have your standalone pop-up. So one of our clients right here, this is what a pop-up would look like on mobile. It's a full screen, and they click through, and they send that message to get opted in. On desktop, this is what it looks like. They will have to type in their phone number on desktop, but usually when we work for brands, they get such good results with SMS that they end up even collecting SMS on desktop. And then you have your the pills, the slide-ins. This is just an example for one of our other clients of ways that you can get opt-ins. So when you have your opt-ins, you want to engage. When it comes to engaging, there are a few different things that you want to do. So the first thing is right when that customer opts in, you have the welcome message that delivers the coupon that you've promised, free shipping, whatever the incentive is, you want to deliver that in a welcome message. And then with SMS, like I mentioned, it works really well at the bottom of the funnel, retargeting customers based on actions that they take on your website. So if they come back on your website, they're browsing different products, you can send them a message and say, hey, did you find what you were looking for? And this is a good way to get them back into the funnel. If they add a product to cart and they abandon it, you can still have a follow-up. And then on top of that, you have your post-purchase retargeting, right? So after they've purchased, you can send order confirmations, and then you have your promotional broadcast on top of that. Now, we don't have time to dive into every specific message, but I want to go over the customer journey of an e-commerce brand, because I think that if you're able to understand what we're trying to do here, you're going to really be able to leverage mobile messaging on any channel, whether it's SMS or Messenger. So if a customer comes to your website here, we're taking a look at the customer journey of the average e-commerce brand. They come to your website, you give them a way to opt in, they get the welcome message. After they get that welcome message and they're browsing different products on your website, you have your abandoned browse series. So they look at different products they have not added to cart. You want to send them a message. If they do come back, add a product to cart, and then they do not check out, you want to also send them a message, say, hey, here's a coupon to help that customer complete the purchase. And then after they do complete the purchase, you have your upsells. And then also after they have completed the purchase, then you have your follow-ups. And these are some of the examples of what the follow-ups look like. You can have your product launches, in-store events. These are some of the examples. And then every single time a customer clicks through, we still know that it's the same customers that have clicked through, right? So they come back to your site. We're still tracking based on their phone number. We know that it's them. If they have the product to cart, we can still send them messages. And then this is also good for in-store traffic, right? So customers are always on the go. It's way easier to send them an update directly to their to their phone number than if you were to email them. So these are some of the examples. And this is actually how we were generating $6 million in revenue from one of the clients. So Q1, we did 732,000. Q2, 1.5 million. And by the end of the year, we had $6 million in revenue directly through SMS, bottom of the funnel retargeting. And so this is SMS, right? But I want to talk more about Facebook Messenger marketing, because I think if you're an affiliate, Messenger applies a lot to you guys. If you're doing lead generation, Messenger is like a really great channel. So how many of you guys have tried Messenger marketing before? All right, not too many people. Earlier we talked about how messaging apps are the most downloaded apps in the world. They also have the most amount of monthly active users. So this graph right here from Statista shows you, the breakdown of monthly active users for messaging apps. So Facebook Messenger now has 1.3 billion active users. So earlier last year, I spoke at Conversations Conference, which is the biggest messenger marketing conference in the world. And I got the chance to talk to the head of business at Messenger, and he mentioned that Facebook Messenger actually has 1.4 billion monthly active users. So Facebook now has allowed businesses on Facebook to be able to leverage Messenger as a marketing channel. So as a business page on Facebook Messenger, this can only be done through a business page, so no personal pages. So as a business on Facebook, you can have automated one-on-one conversations with customers, and you can do a lot of different things. So for example, one of our client, Beard Club here, we have a quiz. We can recommend products. We can do customer service. You can leverage AI to respond to questions that your customer asks you. So I'm assuming a lot of you that are driving traffic through Facebook are doing it through the Facebook page. So customers are going to be asking different questions, or they might want product recommendations. So Facebook Messenger is a really good channel for that. And like I mentioned, I'm going to go over some of the different ways that you can leverage Facebook Messenger marketing at the top of the funnel. And big brands are already doing this. So these are some of the examples. Actually, these are some of our clients too. Beard Club, Tuft, and Boom. These are some of the examples that I recommend to check out. So if you go on your Facebook account and you go on one of these pages and you click the send message button, you'll be able to check out some of the bots, messenger bots that these brands are leveraging. And this is really interesting because the big brands usually don't jump into new technology until it has really matured, but a lot of big brands are already doing Facebook Messenger marketing really well. So these are some of the examples that I recommend you check out. And when we take a look at combining Messenger with SMS, SMS is more at the bottom of the funnel, and Facebook Messenger is more top of funnel. So it's a good way to build a list of customers, potential customers that you can nurture. And you still get the benefits of like the 90% open rates, 60% click-through rates, and also really high conversion rates. So recently we ran like a viral campaign for a Beard Club where we were able to get 99% open rates, 30,000 subscribers in like 3 weeks. The highest click-through we've gotten was a 67% click-through rate on a big list. So you still get the added benefits of reach on Facebook Messenger just as well as you get over SMS. And SMS is more like bottom of the funnel. Like I mentioned, customer comes to your site and you want to track them based on actions that they take on your site and send messages based on that. So when it comes to top of funnel messenger marketing, there are a few things that you can do. So you can do quizzes, and I'm going to dive into interactive content here in a second. You can do product recommendations. So if you have so for a lot of the brands that have products that require a lot of nurturing, I think it makes sense to be able to have an automated conversation that walks the customer through what the product is and what it does. And you can do that with product recommendation. And you can also do giveaways if you have a campaign. Like I mentioned, we ran a giveaway for Beard Club where we acquired 30,000 subscribers in just a few weeks. You can do click to messenger ads. So if you're running ads on Facebook, instead of sending a user to a landing page, they can click through and open up Facebook Messenger where they can have a conversation that is all automated. And obviously you have full control over the creative and exactly what the customer sees and what the conversation looks like. Comment to messenger ads. So if your Facebook page gets a lot of reach right now, you're able to acquire customers based on what people comment. So if a customer comments on a Facebook post, you can set it up where they receive automated messages if they comment. So if your page is getting a lot of engagement, this is good for giveaways. So if you say, hey, comment win or comment whatever to be able to enter for the giveaway, they comment, they get an automated message from your Facebook page. That's another way to acquire subscribers. And the last one here is sponsored messages. So far, if you want to do messenger marketing and you feel like, I haven't done anything, but I really want to get started, sponsored messages is a really good way to get started because with sponsored messages, it basically means that you can send a broadcast to anyone who has ever messaged your Facebook page. So if you get a lot of messages on Facebook, you're able to set it up directly through Ads Manager where you can send any sort of broadcast, promotional or whatever it could be. You send it through and everyone who has ever messaged your Facebook page gets that message. And you can set this up through ManyChat. Full disclosure here, you don't need to know how to write a single line of code. This is purely drag and drop. ManyChat is more like lead generation. If you're doing e-commerce, I recommend you use Octane AI. But with ManyChat, it's all drag and drop. You can set up the conversation. You can write every single thing out. You get to see the entire flow of the customer, and you can set up everything that we talked about through these platforms. I think that the biggest opportunity right now is combining Facebook ads and interactive messenger marketing quizzes. And some of our clients are getting amazing results. I'm going to talk about that and show you exactly what we're doing. But this right here, instead of a user clicking through and going through a landing page, they go into a conversation. So you have full control of like what the conversation is. And once they enter the conversation, they become a subscriber. And you can send them broadcasts, promotions, whatever you have going on. In addition to that, with sponsored messages, anyone that has ever messaged you, you can send them a broadcast through Facebook ads. So the opportunity here is really interactive marketing. So how many of you guys have heard of BuzzFeed quizzes? Okay. So the thing about quizzes is that people love taking quizzes, right? If you make them really fun, people really want to take them. So this is a really good opportunity for you to be able to leverage a quiz to start a conversation with like cold traffic or even like warm traffic. And BuzzFeed here has really built their business on top of quizzes. Like some of the quizzes get like millions and millions of views, and they've driven like millions of users to their website just directly through quizzes. So what we do here is build our quizzes based on like how BuzzFeed does it, because it works really, really well. And when you think about it, if you want to introduce your brand or a product that requires a lot of explaining, doing a quizzes is like a fun way, especially if you make it really interactive with images, GIFs, and stuff like that. So I wanted to go over one of these case studies right here, which we did a quiz for Tuft and Needle, which is like a mattress company. So most people don't buy a mattress just like that. They do a lot of research, and it's an expensive product to buy. So people they ask a lot of questions. So one of the things that we decided to do is to set up a quiz. And when you go through this quiz, it basically allows you to answer certain questions, and then at the end we show you your perfect mattress based on how you answer some of these questions. So you can run ads to this. So for this ad right here, when a customer clicks that send message button, it opens up the conversation where they can get into the quiz, and at the end, we show them the product based on how they've answered the question, and then they're able to go to site and they're able to purchase. And directly through Ads Manager, we're able to see what the return is for this quiz. Now, when it comes to quizzes, there are 3 things that you need to take into account to have a really good quiz. The first thing is that, what is your goal? So at the end of the quiz, there needs to be like some sort of like incentive for the customer to take the quiz, right? Because like somebody is taking the time out of the day to answer questions from a business. So you need to say, at the end of the quiz, we're going to show you the perfect product, or we're going to show you results. And then at the end, there needs to be like, the quiz has to also work, because at the end of the quiz, if the customer doesn't get what they're looking for, they're not going to be happy. So here, if we say that we're going to show you the perfect mattress, we take into account how they answer these questions, and at the end, we show them exactly what mattress they should buy based on how they answer these questions. So the second thing is that it needs to be really short. As you can see right here, we don't have like a bunch of paragraphs talking about the product. Everything is like straight to the point. And then in Messenger, there are things called quick replies. So instead of a user typing in things, they just click through. So when we ask them these questions, they have the ability to click through. So for example here, do you share your mattress with anyone? So they have the option to click yes or no, or pets and stuff like that. So you want to use quick replies to make it easy for them. And in keeping it short too, you don't want to have more than, let's say, 7 questions because we all know that the attention spent now is like really low. So you don't want somebody to sit through like a 15-question quiz. That is not a good experience. So keep things really short and to the point. Only ask for whatever you need. So once this customer becomes a subscriber, you get a lot of data points about them. So right now, if you're doing email marketing and you get somebody's email address, the only thing that you have is their email. So you don't have their first name or their last name. And most of the time, people like to give out fake information, right? So they might give you like a fake email address just to get that ebook or whatever. But with Messenger, when somebody gets subscribed, it's connected to their Facebook account. So most people are not on Facebook on like a fake account. It's the real information. So they have their first name, their last name, a bunch of other information that Facebook gets directly from Facebook, because every single person that has a Facebook account also has a Messenger account. And the data is the same between Facebook and Messenger. So once that customer gets subscribed here, we get their first name, their last name, we get their time zone, we also get their Facebook user ID, which is really good if you want to create custom audiences of people who have engaged with the quiz or different actions that they take. So you get all that information. So you can address them by their first name. You can really customize the messaging and the promotions that are going out to the customers. And it's a much, much better experience. And throughout this quiz, a quiz is also like gold for mining data, because depending on how people are answering these questions, you get to save those answers and see, like, you can filter here, but like, whoever wants to order a mattress between like $600 and $1,200, so you know exactly that segment of your audience, and you get to do that through Messenger, and you can't do that on other channels. So on average, a Messenger subscriber is worth 4 times more than an email subscriber, because first, you get a lot of data about them, and then that means that you get to do a lot of customization and personalization with the messaging, which leads to higher conversion rates. And then the second thing is that you have all this data that you can put into a custom audience on Facebook for retargeting. So when you're running different ads, for these ads, I highly recommend you test the headline and also the description and also the images. But this is our highest converting ad right here for Tuft and Needle, and they're driving the traffic to Facebook Messenger, and it's performing really, really, really well. So right now, through this funnel, we're getting a 90% open rate after we do the broadcast, and then we're getting about 88% completion rate on the quiz. So one of the things I wanted to also mention is that when customers are going through the quiz, you get to see exactly where they are in the funnel, and so at any time you can go and see that people are dropping off when you ask this question. So you have that data to be able to like optimize and get more people to complete the quiz. But one of the things that we like to do is, have different like checkpoints in the quiz, so we're able to track where people drop off. And then at any time, if they drop off somewhere, we can come back. We have automated sequences to follow up and say, hey, we saw that you stopped at this point in the quiz. Would you like to continue where you left off? So it's like a really good experience. If somebody is going through the questions and then something happens, then you can also have that follow-up so they come back and actually complete the quiz. So with cold traffic, we're running cold traffic to the quiz. It's getting like a 5x return on cold traffic, which is really good for top of funnel. And then on the retargeting, it's getting like over a 20x return on the retargeting audiences. So this has been like one of their top performing funnels, which is combining Facebook ads and Facebook Messenger. So right now, you probably have a lot of objectives. So you probably have a lot of objectives on Facebook, right? So with messages, you have the ability to optimize for messages. With Facebook Messenger ads, you have the ability to optimize for messages, So for this campaign, we're optimizing for new messages. So click to Messenger ads. So when you go to set up your ads manager, instead of doing conversions, you can do messages, and people can click through and go to Facebook Messenger. And then if you combine it on a platform like ManyChat, it's super easy to set up. You can run ads directly in ManyChat. That takes a user to Messenger. And then you have the ability to also optimize for engagement. So earlier I mentioned the comment to Messenger ads, which is if you have a regular post that's doing really well with like comments, shares, you can run it as an ad to get users to get more comments. And for comment to Messenger ads, you really want to optimize for engagement. And I highly recommend you use like an image, because if you're doing engagement optimization through Facebook ads and you have a video, when you do the engagement, it's going to give you more views. But if you use an image on that comment to Messenger ads, you're going to get more comments, which works really well. But this campaign right here, using messages, which is what I recommend. So this is exactly how Tuft and Needle is doing really well with Messenger marketing. If you'd like to get a demo on Facebook Messenger marketing or SMS marketing, please go to Conversmart.com to request a free demo. And then I also have a Q&A session later. I think it's at 1 p.m. in track B, if you have any sort of questions. But I really hope you take this, apply it to your business, and generate more revenue. Thank you. All right, so we don't have a timer, so I don't know how we're doing on time. So if anyone has like any sort of questions, yeah, go ahead.
Can you run a pixel through the Messenger somehow?
Yes, yeah. So if you have a pixel on site, Facebook is directly connected with Messenger. So if a user clicks through from Facebook ad to Messenger, Facebook automatically tracks that, so you can see how many conversations you have. You know, the click-through rate from the conversation to your website, and also how much revenue you've generated.
There are also some questions behind.
What was the time to recoup ROI on the campaign? Yeah, so the first month, for the SMS campaign that we ran, I think we did around like 200,000. It doesn't take much. So SMS is really special because it's at the bottom of the funnel, so people who are already aware of your brand, they are coming to your site, and SMS is a great way to be able to follow up if they drop off in the buyer's journey. So at any time when you set up SMS marketing on your site, it doesn't take much. Like the next day, like even the same day when you set it up, you're gonna see users are opting in, and you're gonna have the abandoned carts messages triggering. So on the same day, you're probably gonna be generating revenue. Platform for Facebook Messenger, ManyChat is a good one if you're doing a lot of lead generation. Or another thing that I wanted to mention is like with Messenger, you can collect email addresses, phone numbers, or whatever information you want to collect. So if you're running ads to Messenger and you have a quiz or what sort of engagement, different ways that you want to engage with that user, you can ask for any sort of information. And then you can send it to your CRM. So this is a good way to also syndicate your Messenger list with your email list and also your SMS list. And if you're doing more of e-commerce, then Octane AI is good because it allows you to track sales directly for your flows. So Octane AI would connect to like your Shopify store or other stores, and then you're able to see how much revenue each Messenger flow is generating. Who supplies the creative? So we do the creative for you. So if you want to work with us, we completely take over your channel, whether it's SMS or Messenger. We do the creatives for you, the opt-ins for you. We do the messaging. All you have to do is approve it. And then we go live, and then we give you reporting. So we do set it up all for you. You don't have to do anything. I think that was all the questions. Yeah, so Facebook used to have this rule called the 24+1 rule on Facebook Messenger, where you cannot send promotional messages unless someone has engaged with you. By engagement, they mean that they have either messaged your page, they've clicked to your website or inside of Messenger. And once they have engaged, you have a promotional message that can go after, so you can send them a coupon or whatever you would like. So I think it was like 2 weeks ago, they've changed it where if you want to send promotional messages, it has to be through sponsored messages. And they did that because people were really spamming a lot through Messenger. And Facebook really doesn't want Messenger to become like email, where you are sending like 5 emails a day, because the reach on Messenger is much greater, right? So we're talking like 99% open rates on a broadcast. Like, you don't need to send more than 1 message to reach that customer because they're going to open it the first time. So a lot of people were still spamming. So Facebook then said, now if you want to send a promotional message, you can do it through Ads Manager by something called a sponsored message. And with a sponsored message, it's paid. Right now, it's really cheap. I think it's like $30 per 1,000 impressions, which is pretty affordable. But I think it makes it better for everyone that really want to take advantage of the channel, because now the people who are spamming to try to generate sales are not doing it anymore. So it opens up for people who really want to send good content to their customers to be able to leverage Facebook Messenger. Any other questions? All right, I think that's it. Thank you, guys.